I'm very happy with how things are going. We've been losing our train of thoughts. But I do think it's just because it's been a little while since we've been doing this. And I feel like when there's a lot to talk about, your mind is just like, ooh, let me go here, let me go here. And that's what, for me, that's what happened. I feel like that's what's happened with you a couple of times. So, yeah.
Definitely. And that's definitely what the editing, that's what the editing is for. That once I'm in the editing room, that's when I'm just like, okay, how do I make these concise? How do I like, like make it actually cohesive? Because sometimes we'll lose our train of thought or whatever. But also because like we don't really take notes. I notice we don't take notes, and we don't read off of notes, which is good because it's not scripted.
So. Exactly, it's literally all unfiltered.
Welcome back to Elevators. As always, this is your three hosts. I'm Janai Nelson,
Marcello Rosa,
Rashidi Shah over here.
So, seems I've got some explaining to do. After we uploaded episode 2, we had recorded in episode 3. What I should have done was I should have just edited episode 3 in one day instead of just going, I'll do 1/3 and then the next day, then the next third, and then the next day, and then the next. Like I should have just did it one time, and then I would have had it ready. That way I wouldn't have lost anything. So what happened was my MacBook Pro, which was operating with a Toshiba hard drive, decided to finally crash on me. I lost the project files for episode 3, but I did keep the footage of episode 3 because I had an external hard drive. So finally, when I got this new laptop, I finally started to redo the editing process for episode 3. And upon watching it, I noticed a couple of kinks, and also just because of how much time has passed and how things have progressed and how a lot of things have happened in the world, as well as probably in all of our personal lives as well. I figured it was just best to just reshoot episode 3. It underwent some maintenance. We've gotten all the buttons clicking and everything. So
at the top floor.
Exactly.
There it is.
First of all, I just want to ask, how's everybody feeling?
Good. I think, honestly, nothing's much to actually know. We're actually planning on moving.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're looking at houses in Bowmanville and Newcastle, and I'm already depressed living in Whitby, so just imagine what's going to happen over there, especially with everything that's been going on. Like, I was talking with one of my friends, and she was saying that, a lot of, racist people are coming out of the wood like termites. And thinking about that, I was like, oh, lad, you were absolutely right. And then one of my friends, he actually lives in Newcastle, and I was like, oh, yo, my fam's actually might be moving there. And he's like, oh, I don't know if you guys really want to do that, because Newcastle is it's not one of those areas that are welcoming. So we'll see what happens. I'll hopefully get things in order, move out on my own. So that's like the mission right now. So yeah.
I mean, I guess the biggest thing was my graduation, like in April, end of April. Other than that, it's been just grinding for me. Grinding this out, having some good workouts, having some more time with my mom, actually. We've gotten a lot closer the past few weeks. I think the biggest thing for me was, obviously, once you're off at university, you kind of not lose touch, but you kind of have a disconnect with the parents. So when you come back into the household, it's like it's a switch up, you know what I mean? Like you have that freedom, and then you come back, you're like, wait, no, I don't have that freedom anymore. So it takes adjustment time.
You had your graduation. Rashidi had his birthday. He turned 25 a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
You see the look on his face? That is the look of somebody who just realized, I'm getting old.
That doesn't even bother me so much. It's just that, the fact that you said a couple weeks ago, already, 2 weeks are down, 50 more weeks and then 26 already. It's like, wow, that's what's like, whew.
When you turn 25, you come to this realization that that's like a quarter of a century.
Yep.
It's like all of a sudden you're like, because 25 is such it's a big number. That's when your brain reaches its peak of development. It's an important milestone when you think about it as well, and you think about how many things have turned 25 with you, and how many things you've outlived, or how many things you're older than, like songs, movies, people. Looking back at 25 years of your life, what is your biggest takeaway? What is, what's something that you've really come to, grips with?
I reached 25, and then I realized that lots of things just come and go. And that's something that you realize earlier too. But I think this 25 was a little different than for yours, for example, because COVID, right? And it really allowed me to reevaluate and to dive deeper into myself spiritually, religiously, emotionally. I kind of just took a step back and I just reflected on a lot of things, people, relationships, a lot of different things. So I think based off of that, it's just gonna, from what you were saying too, it's just gonna take me into a different direction of who I am associated with, what I've been doing, who I've been doing stuff with. Like that's gonna change. I'm grateful at the same time, honestly, because time's not waiting for none of us. You know, I remember this one song, I can't remember the song, but she was saying that time is the only currency that costs nothing, but it's worth everything. With that in mind, it's just like, hey, just let things go. If someone did something to you, you let that go. And if you feel like you can't let that go, then let that person go.
Right.
There's no point in harboring negative emotions. Just be like, I'm done. I'm going to carry on my life. They're going to carry on their life. Whether or not I'm with that person, my heart's still going to beat. I'm still breathing. Like, and I've already dropped a few relationships. So like, yeah, that'd be my biggest takeaway. It's just it is what it is kind of thing. It is what it is.
Marcelo, now that you've graduated, now that you're a university grad,
Yes, sir.
what is your takeaway now?
When you go off to university somewhere like not in from your home, you kind of have to go a little bit outside your comfort zone. And that's something that I really learned to not only deal with, but like kind of push myself to do more, if that makes sense. For me personally, going off to university was a pretty scary experience. One, because I was pretty much paying for it all myself. So the pressure was on myself to get good grades, to be able to pass, do all that stuff. But also just the fact that I knew like maybe one or two people at Queens already. I had some friends that were older, so I had a few connections, but obviously when you're in first year, you make new friends. So overall, my experience was incredible. Like I changed as a person. I got smarter. I got like more driven. I got more motivated. I met new people and made awesome connections. It comes down to also balancing your time, which I think a lot of people struggle with in university. Yeah. Take it with a grain of salt, right? Like whether it's something new that's brand new for you, whether it's something that you had something experience or you've already experienced or you've gone to school already or whatever it is, take it with a grain of salt, enjoy it, trust the process. Yeah.
As Joel Embiid would say, trust the process. Trust the process. Like we talked about in episode 2 and briefly on the unreleased, I'll call it, episode 3, we talked about more of the Black Lives Matter movement, and we talked more about the social media aspect of the activism going on, as well as the marching and the protests. There's been so many protests in Ontario, especially in the GTA, that I've seen. There was even all a march in Niagara Falls, and Summer from Rosedale, shout out to Summer, who has an amazing YouTube channel, by the way, you guys should check it out. One of her videos was about the march down in Niagara, and it's just amazing seeing all that stuff happen. And it's amazing also seeing everything actually starting the change, making the change. But the one thing that's been happening lately is that while we're asking for police departments to be defunded, we're asking for police to be held accountable, we're noticing that there's a lot of things that are happening that are great, by the way. Like, for example, the Aunt Jemima thing. You know, they decided to finally take Aunt Jemima off of the pancake boxes and the syrup. That's something that should have been happening, but it's sort of a case of better late than never. Voice actors and voice actresses have stepped down from their roles of characters of color because they realized that those roles need to go to actual voice actors and voice actresses of color, which again, great thing, should have been happening. But, you know, again, better late than never. A lot of episodes of certain TV shows that have like offensive content in them have been taken off of certain streaming services. Again, great that it's happening, should have been happened, but better late than never. So of course there's that trend going on. But I'm noticing on social media, especially on Twitter, that a lot of people are seeing this and being like, yeah, that's great and everything, but we didn't ask for this. And for me, I'm like, we did ask for this. It's just that it's great that you're taking off Aunt Jemima off the pancake box, but that wasn't our main concern. Our main concern was arresting the police officers that killed Breonna Taylor. Our biggest priority was defunding the police.
And some people think that defunding the police means that there's going to be no more police. That's what they think, which is not what defunding the police means. It's taking a little out of that $1 billion revenue and getting it towards other parts, right? So that's where I think a lot of people have to get kind of educated as to what defunding the police means. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be any more cops. It means that there's going to be a bit of less revenue for them because they have, I think one of the largest revenue incomes or providers given to them. So it kind of makes sense as to like, maybe we can give back to different parts of the city, mental health aspects, homelessness aspects, food shelters, minority communities.
Yeah. Malcolm X had this quote where he said, the enemy will try to satisfy us with symbolic victories rather than economic equality and real justice. And that's the thing that is pissing a lot of us off. It's like, yes, take down Aunt Jemima. Yes, take down these racist caricatures in media. And yes, like rectify certain issues of like non-black characters voicing black characters. Yes, do all that stuff. But what about justice for Breonna Taylor? Her killers have not been brought to justice.
But
and
they took the bill off of it too. It was well, I don't even know. Like they banned the no knock
warrants. Yeah.
Yeah, you sign a bill off of her, but won't go out.
Exactly. And
it's those things. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere this morning that Doug Ford is not planning on cutting funds. He's not planning on, if anything, they're planning on giving more to the police, which is, that's, me and Keon had this conversation, and he told me something that I didn't really think about. He was against the idea of bail relief funds because when you donate to these bail relief funds, where's that money going to go back into? The police department. It's going to go back into the system. He also told me that police department doesn't necessarily have to disclose what they use their budget on, which is very concerning. So when he told me those things, it added more sense to things that I already knew about police, about how police officers have a certain amount, like a certain quota. They have a certain amount of people that they can arrest so that they can rank up. So when you see these protests, right, you see these marches, and you see all of these protesters being harassed and being arrested and everything like that, police know that this is a game. This is a part of their game, because when you throw them people, protesters or whatever the case is, when you throw them into the jail, you know what they think to themselves? Oh, the people have them. The people have them. All the bail relief funds, the people have them. They're just gonna bail these protesters out. And you know what's gonna happen? That money's gonna go back into their pockets. So this is why it's important to defund the police. And like Marcello said, redistribute that into other areas. Like, for example, the education system. Because I saw a chart where it was like police budget is like up here. I think the second was like healthcare, and then like housing and school is like very low. All of this just had me thinking about like just even the way that I grew up and even the way that a lot of people I knew grew up. And it's like there needs to be a refunneling of funds into the communities, to education system. Because also when you think about the education system, you think about certain school districts that, for lack of a better term, house kids from certain communities. A lot of teachers, a lot of educators are old, have outdated ideologies about how to teach. And also because they're old and because they've been teaching for so long, a lot of them they're just over it. And a lot of teachers will treat certain kids like they're lost causes. And it's like, if you treat certain kids like lost causes, they're going to be lost causes. Not only that, there needs to be an emphasis on early child psychology in elementary schools, especially. There needs to be a lot of talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. I know when they talk about PTSD, they talk about it with two groups of people: war veterans, victims of abuse. Now, setting aside victims of abuse, because that's very valid to learn about no matter what age you are. No elementary school kid has been to Iraq. No middle school kid has ever been to Vietnam. But there are certain kids in middle school districts, elementary school districts, that live in areas that might as well be Baghdad. It might as well be like Vietnam. And if you don't get to the root of their PTSD, if you don't deal with that, then it's gonna manifest in ways like just being disruptive in class, bullying other kids, not doing homework, not focusing on schoolwork. It's gonna manifest itself in ways that will get kids in trouble. And when those kids get in trouble, a lot of schools will just do the same thing. Expel him, suspend him, send him to a different school. Yep. Instead of dealing with the root issue, don't send him to another school with these same issues that he has.
Also, additionally, kind of on that note of unequal access to things, right? Very prevalent for minority communities to have access to less credits, less loans for a house. They're in a lower tax bracket, so they get less benefits. Which is it's just like a circle all around, where it's like if they had access to more wealth in a sense, there would be a good amount of change for sure, 100%, right? Because it all comes down to the area where they grew up in. So you think about like a lot of individuals who grew up in minority communities, they grew up around gun violence, they're around drugs, gangs, all that stuff their entire life. So it's normalized in a sense. Their white counterparts are able to have a lot more access to different things, which seems like so out of the picture to them, but realistically, like there is no difference. Like, why does somebody who's white have access to this thing? Right? Are they smarter than me? Probably not. Are they better than me? I don't think so. They just were born into a family, or they're born into a region, or they were born into whatever it is. So it comes back to a history of this partitioning itself for years and centuries, right? So where do you, as a singular individual, how are you able to start to promote the ideology that having access to less things is the root cause? Having like the lack of access, how do you kind of start promoting that? What do you guys think?
You have to start from the youth, you know?
Yeah.
As older individuals, we've seen the world a lot differently than how they have, but being younger than like our parents, we see the world a lot different than how when they were growing up, right? We have to be able to speak with them. And I think a lot of the times too is, especially for me growing up, like I was lectured a lot, like don't do this because this is gonna happen, da 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 da, and the lecture goes on for hours. And if you even try to speak or like ask a question, it's like that's not right. For me personally, it's just like you can't do that, you know. It has to be a conversation. I would have to talk to my younger brothers as equals, you know, not being like, I'm older, this is how it is, and you can't speak, because it also carries on into the future too. There are other conversations where it's just like, all right, if this person tells me what's up, that's it. Like I can't speak. And I feel like we've seen that where kids are growing up and they want to have a voice, but they're scared. They're scared to have a voice because they've been shut down so many times, and not just from the outside world, but internal, you know? So I would need to speak to my brothers as equals and be like, this is the world that we currently live in. Don't be afraid.
Everybody has a different upbringing. I remember I saw a post the other day about like these two women with their children. This dude, he was a janitor, sweeping the floor. The one woman was looking at her child saying, don't end up like that. The other woman was looking at her child more so like, you gotta do what you gotta do. There's nothing wrong with cleaning up after your community. There's nothing wrong with being a janitor. There's nothing degrading about being a janitor.
Just because somebody is working this job at this current state or this current point doesn't mean that that's going to dictate who they are or wherever they're going, right?
Exactly.
Like a great example, I think, is someone who I really look up to. I think you guys heard of him before. His name is Gary Vee, and he's a serial entrepreneur, all that stuff, and he lived through between the ages of 22 all the way till 30, working at his dad's liquor store as a stock person, stocking shelves for 8 years straight. When he turned 30, he started his first business, and then from 30 to now, 40 whatever years old, he's made whatever, like he's a crazy entrepreneur, doing incredibly well. But he's like, this is what the problem is, that a lot of us who are younger, we want things really, really, really fast, right? So it's hard to humble ourselves. It's okay to grind it out. It's okay to save up and pursue what it is. It's okay to take some time for yourself. It's okay to pursue whatever it is if it takes time, because everything takes time, right? And if you're working at a job that maybe you don't like that much, it doesn't mean you're going to be there for the rest of your life. It just means that you're doing your thing right now. When time comes, it's your time to shine.
Going back to what Rashidi was saying, you have to instill it in the kids at a young age. Crazy how many things I've come across on social media, but there was this one post that I saw that this guy was in Walmart and he noticed like knockoff versions of like Jordans, like the same model shoe, but with the Shaq logo instead of the Jordan logo. And he was laughing at, he was just like, yo, I can't believe Walmart is doing this, man. Like, this is not right, whatever. And that video got a lot of backlash because, and this is the beauty of our generation, because I feel like we start to see things, especially at an older age, we start to look at things a lot differently as we get older. And someone quote tweeted that post, saying like the reason why Shaquille O'Neal has the shoe line is because kids in low-income families are not able to afford the $200, $300 pair of Jordans. It's like a status symbol. Yeah. So he made these shoes so that kids growing up in low-income families, low-income households, can still feel like they're fitting in, because it's the same model, just a different logo, but it's the same model. It looks the same. If you instill that as well as other things in our youth, in our little brothers, our little sisters, our little cousins, our future children, if you instill these things in them, then they're going to grow up a lot different. They're going to grow up a lot different than us, and they're going to grow up with different values than us, and they're going to grow up looking at other kids and not making fun of them for not having a dad in the house, and not making fun of them for living in a poor neighborhood, or not making fun of them for wanting to grow up and and work at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Or grow up like they're going to grow up not laughing at kids wearing the knockoff brands, because we've instilled that value in them and that idea in them that, look, everybody's different. Everybody comes from different backgrounds. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone. Let them be them.
Let them live their lives. Yeah.
But we're about to be some next level parents, bro. When we have kids.
I think so.
True. It's true.
Another thing that's been going on, cancel culture. This idea of cancel culture, and everybody has different thoughts about cancel culture. Just off the top of my head, Jenna Marbles, she released a YouTube video basically saying that she quits YouTube because of, things that she has done in the past. Shane Dawson, for good reason.
Bro, even yesterday I was watching something on Instagram, different clips of the comments that he has made about children. And I'm like, the moment you even posted or something about that, you should be charged. But the fact that this guy has been posting and been talking about it for so long, it's very disturbing.
In this day and age, cancel culture breeds this idea that you are guilty until proven innocent. Cancel culture also ignores accountability and human growth.
Going into a little deeper, is a lot of people cancel people that shouldn't even be canceled. They get a little whiff of gossip and they're like, oh yeah, that person's wrong, that person is trash, that person shouldn't even be in the spotlight, let's take away all their funding, let's take away their endorsements. A couple months later, it turns out, oh, that person was telling you the truth the whole time. Like, that whatever was said about them actually was false. Whatever defense that they were making was true. What I've noticed is that we are canceling somebody for something that they've said or have done years ago. Is there no possibility that this person learned from their mistakes?
Yeah.
Is there no possibility that that's the case? If that's so, should you be canceled then? Because, and I don't mean you, I mean like
general you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure everybody in their life has thought something, has said something, or have done something that if they look at it now, it's like, oh, that wasn't cool. And they've learned from it. And we've seen like celebrities, they've learned from their mistakes, they've apologized. Whether it's up to us to say whether it's genuine or not, we don't know. We don't know what's going in someone's mind, and we have to stop assuming that we know everything. What's her name? Gina
Rodriguez.
Yeah. So we have her for an example, right?
Yeah.
She makes a comment about Black women, right? Then she apologizes. Then she makes another comment about Black women. Then she apologizes. Then I'm pretty sure she even goes upon social media and she's cussing, right?
Yeah, using the N word.
Yeah, and then she apologizes. That at that point, no, you know, if you apologize, all right, you've apologized. Let's see what you're gonna do in the future. You've already messed up, and you've messed up again and again and again. So at that point, then I'm like, all right, apologizing is half the battle.
Yeah.
Whether or not they've learned and if they're gonna make a difference and whatever, that's the other half.
Again, I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. You guys don't know exactly which one I'm gonna say. All right. So our top 3 for today is top 3 quarantine snacks.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Huh.
I'm gonna go and answer this right away because I already got number 1.
Okay. We'll go. Start with number 3, and then we're gonna go around, and then number 2, and then go around. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You know what?
You already.
We'll have this to number 3 because I'm sure I can find other ones along the way. So number 3, 100%, cereal.
Okay.
Nice bowl of cereal. I can eat this for lunch. I can eat this for dinner. It's a snack. It's a dessert. It can do all 3 of those. I probably have like 4 to 5 boxes of cereal on deck, ready to eat at most times. Like when I go to shop with my mom, I'm like, okay, we need to get a variety. Like this could be breakfast. This could be your late night snack. It answers all the questions you need, so it tastes good. And yeah, but not with normal milk because unfortunately I'm a lactose boy. So almond milk.
There you go.
Sure.
See, okay. Now here's the thing. I had a conversation with my friend about this, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up too, because number 3 is also cereal for me. So, I was talking to my friends about this. Almond milk is not that bad with cereal.
Almond milk is not that bad with anything. Almond milk is like, oh my lord, like I don't mind drinking cow milk, but I'm just like, yo, screw cow milk. Almond milk is the way it is. I love almond milk, and for me, cereal would be number 3 as well. So I'm kind of happy that like we all love our cereal and with almond milk too. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, so then just real quick, going around, what is your go-to cereal then? So Marcello, what's your go-to cereal?
Go-to cereal is a mix of Nesquik. Nesquik is always a go-to, and my favorite one I think is gonna have to be either like some good granola or Frosted Flakes.
Okay. Rashidi?
For me, it would be the Frosted Flakes or those like more healthier cereals.
The granola
with the fruits and the this and the that. It's like, ooh, baby, get in my belly, you know, like that's some good stuff, man. Especially those in the evening. It's always so good at night. I don't really like those in the morning. I'm just like, meh. But at night, I'm just like, yo, come here. I can eat like 5 bowls in one sitting. One time I ate the whole box in one sitting. I'm just like, oh shoot, I'm done. Like, I need to go buy more. So yeah.
So for me, I eat cereal 2 ways. I eat them either dry or I eat them with milk. So dry cereal, go to French Toast Crunch. And I know French Toast Crunch is not, you could barely find it in Toronto or in the GTA, but I have a plug.
The plug.
Yeah, so French Toast Crunch, and then, sorry?
No, continue, bro. Continue.
I thought you were going to ask me who my plug was. I was going to tell you that. I was going to tell you that.
Plug, you don't mention it.
And then my second go-to cereal, literally the only cereal I've been eating this whole quarantine. Marcello, you said it. Nesquik. Nesquik. Like, and the crazy thing is, you go to the grocery store, Nesquik flying off the shelves. So sometimes you gotta like go to different grocery stores or whatever. But when you go to that one grocery store and you find the family size, you snatch that up. You're like, yes, give me this.
Oh yeah.
It's cereal and chocolate milk in one sitting. Like, how can you go wrong with that, bro? Come on now.
So we got cereal, number 3 for all of us. So then going back to Marcello for number 2.
Number 2, peanut butter sandwich, peanut butter and jam. Very simple. Hits the spot. Super like kind of, I guess, out of the picture, but past few weeks, I've actually been eating no meat in my diet at all.
Okay.
I watched a show on Netflix. Recommend. I highly recommend. It's called Game Changers, and it just kind of displays how like the meat industry and meat in your body does different stuff that I didn't know about. So one of the biggest things it does is it releases like toxins into your body, and it's harder for your body to digest meat, which I didn't know. I always thought that you had to eat big steaks and hamburgers to get strong and all that, but realistically, humans were meant not to eat meat, and very few people I think actually know this. But yeah, scrambled together. Because of that, I get a bit of less protein because I eat like nuts and protein shakes and whatever. So peanut butter, great source of protein, and awesome source of fat. So it's filling. I love bread. I love jam.
Can't go wrong.
Mashed together. Real quick, shout out to my boy Auntie. Try peanut butter and honey.
Oh, bro, oh man. Someone bought honey yesterday, and that was the first thought. And I was like, oh, we got 2 tubs of peanut butter, so those two are gonna come together. Oh my lord. My number 2 is actually fruits. And the 2 fruits that or 3, I guess, would be grapefruits, grapes, and frozen mangoes. The reason why frozen mangoes is because, yeah, I can eat it how, regular mangoes, but there is something so beautiful about mangoes that are already chopped up for you.
Yep.
And when it's a hot evening or hot afternoon, you're like, oh God, I'm so hot. But wait, I have frozen mangoes.
I love that.
Sweet and cold. You can't go wrong with that, my guys. I'm telling you. Oh my lord. Oh man, the amount of frozen mangoes that I've gone through in this one or a few months. Oh man. And grapes too. Like, when did my mom go to the cottage? Last week? 2 weeks ago? When was my birthday? 2 weeks ago? So yeah, she was at the cottage, right? And I bought like 3 bags of frozen mangoes and like 8 pounds of grapes, and I finished that all in like 5 days. I'm just like, oh man, I love.
My number 2 go-to quarantine snack is chocolate chip Eggos. Chocolate chip Eggo waffles.
Chocolate chip Eggo waffles, man. I haven't had a waffle in so long.
You put syrup, or what do you put on it? Butter? What do you
I just eat it. I eat it plain. I just put 4 of them in the oven and just scarf them down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My syrup either?
Hell no. Hell no. I just scarf them down. I just put 4 in the oven, wait for them to have a little bit of a nice little crisp, and then just eat them down. I sometimes I like to just pair the chocolate chip Eggo waffles and the Nesquik. Like, I'll have them both at the same time. But when I don't have Netflix, then I'll just go with the chocolate chip Eggo waffles. If I don't have chocolate chip, when I don't have Nesquik. Oh, when I don't have Nesquik.
Yeah.
When I don't have Nesquik, I'll have the chocolate chip Eggo waffles. If I don't have the chocolate chip Eggo waffles, I'll have the Nesquik. And then, you know what I'm saying? But if I have both, heavenly.
A good pizza.
That was going to be my number 1. Golly!
That's true. A good pizza, yeah. It satisfies all your taste buds. Pretty good. It's pretty filling. You can make your own, very simplistically. I'm not saying that I have to do many of my own. Sorry, but I should be. But we'll move on to that. But yeah, no, it's you can eat it. You could eat it for breakfast if you want to. I personally don't, but if you want to, you could. It's a lunch, it's a dinner ting. It can be a date ting. It can be a family ting. It fits all the criteria. So.
How to promote pizza to Toronto people. It's a great thing. It can be a
thing, you know what I'm saying?
A dinner ting, a date ting, a family ting, any kind of ting, fam.
I'll let Rashidi get to his number 1. But just to piggyback up, because my number 1 is also pizza. Like Marcello said, you can cook it yourself. You can order it. You could have it for breakfast. Me, if I order a pizza and I don't finish most of it, If I don't finish 2 slices,
right? What are you lying for, bro? Don't.
If I don't finish 2 slices, I'll leave it for the next morning. Pop it in the oven with the chocolate chip Eggo waffles, and then it gets very unhealthy sometimes. But you know what I'm saying? I work it off in the backyard when I go play ball. But yeah, like even like after this is done, I'm ordering 2 pizzas right now because like
Domino's.
Because there's a
Yeah.
It's the thing. It's special today, isn't there?
Yeah, 2 for 1.
2 for 1. So you order any pizza, you get second for free.
Domino's, cut the check.
Literally.
Cut the check, Domino's. But yeah, I'm gonna order 2 pizzas, after this is done. But yeah, pizza is my number 1 go-to quarantine snack. I mean, I would say hot dogs, but I have pizza more. I would say chicken nuggets, but I have pizza more. So pizza is definitely my number 1.
Popcorn.
Okay.
I love popcorn. Whether it's it's either the natural or the smart pop. I can't do like no butter, or lightly buttered, or salt and pepper and this and that. Like just simple smart pop. I don't know what smart pop is. It just sounds cool and it tastes really good. And then natural, it's just, just nice and basic. So yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I'm gonna go buy that today, bro.
Real quick, since you're a movie buff, you're probably the biggest movie buff out of all of us here. Do you like? So of course you're at home watching movies. You make your own popcorn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So. Yeah.
Whoa. You thought I would like order movie popcorn? I've been wanting to.
I love how you shoot down the idea and you're like, wait, hold on. Sounds like a good idea.
I've been wanting to. There's something about movie popcorn, but the only thing though is that like when you get it out of when you go to the movies, right? And then you see them take it. No, whoa, hold up. Okay, so you know how they have like the warmer station or whatever where all the popcorn's already set?
Yeah.
I don't do that. I'm like, yo, can I please get my popcorn fresh? And they're like, all right, I got you. And then I say top up. Because, and this is a little life hack for every single one of you guys that are out here spending like $10 for a bag of popcorn. If you shake the bag or like bang it on the bottom a bit, you're gonna see how much popcorn there really is. And it's very disappointing and it hurts. As a avid moviegoer that enjoys the sweet pleasures of popcorn, to have it, half the bag, and you're like, whoa, I'm watching like a 3-hour movie. You really think this little thing is gonna last? This won't even last me until like the climax. Like you gotta like top that up. And oh gosh, I love it. But yeah, so if and when theaters open up, and I really hope they do, because like I'm getting withdrawals.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting withdrawals. Sometimes I'm like, oh my god, like I need a movie, When you go to theater, shake it a little bit, and you're gonna see like how much popcorn is or like how much air, I should say, was actually in the bag. But then sometimes that's why I say when can I get it fresh? They really stack it up, and then you're like, thank you.
Saying that movie popcorn, they serve it like Lay's, like bag chips.
Bro, no, they do. Sometimes there are some theaters that I've realized that do it more often than others. And it also depends on how busy it is, which I understand. So you just ask them for a quick little top up. Yeah.
Quick recap of everybody's top 3. Marcello.
Cereal.
Yep.
I had to think about it.
I think I know. I think I already know what to title today's episode. So you guys will see it when I upload it. So go ahead, Rashid. Go ahead. Yep.
Peanut butter and jam, and honestly, on the note of fruit, I like to throw some strawberries on there too. It's very good, and even some honey. By the way, Janai, this also encompasses your favorites. If you are into fruit and into honey and into peanut butter, you put some bread, some peanut butter, some fruit, and some honey on top of that.
I'll think about that.
You don't have to, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it might do some perspective changes in your life. And this is all.
All right. Rashidi? Cereal.
Wow.
Cereal was your number one.
Cereal, fruits, grapefruits, grapes, mangoes, and popcorn.
My top three: cereal, chocolate chip waffles, and pizza. And just a real quick thing I forgot to say as well. One of my favorite ways to do pizza, homemade, you take English muffins, you cut them in half, open them up, you take pizza sauce, put them on. I think I made them at the cottage that time we went.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, the pizza, I call them pizza muffins. You take the English muffin, pizza sauce, put some Tex-Mex cheese on there. You put whatever topping you want on there afterwards, but for the most part, boom, you just have a little pizza muffin in your hand. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. They are good.
Mhm.
They are good.
So that's been our show, guys. Again, I said this when I recorded episode 3, or the unreleased episode 3. I want to thank everybody who has supported us thus far. Subscriptions to our YouTube page, the views of the videos, the likes on the posts and everything, the follows on Instagram, the story reshares. I be seeing the story reshares and I'm like, thank you so much. You know, like it definitely, I can speak for all of us when we say that we appreciate it. And even just like the little small segment that we have called Elevator Corners that we started in light of the technical difficulties we were experiencing. Again, we at the Elevators would like to thank you guys so much for your patience, for your support. And again, just continue to rock with us as we keep going up. If there's anything that you guys want us to talk about, please like message us, DM us. We'll be happy to talk about it. We might even do like an advice corner at some point, you know what I'm saying? If we get up, if we get up there. And like I said, and like I think I said on the first podcast too, we're gonna have people on the show as well. You know, we're gonna have people come on. We've all talked to so many people. It's good to have different perspectives, and it's good to, see more faces than just the three of us. While the three of us are pleasant faces to look at, it's good to have more faces, and have more voices, and it'll be very lively. So this is the Elevator signing off. Thank you guys for watching. Follow everybody's Instagram pages. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Spread the word. Support. All that.
Much
Peace.
love.
Peace.